welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda. So I'm here today to enable you. So I know a lot of people are starting the year with, no buy January, or they're saying that, they're going to read off their shelves more this year. That's all good, but just in case you might want to buy something, I do see there's a lot of historical fiction coming out in the next month. So, and some probably, since I'm a few days into the month, some's probably already come out. So I thought I'd mention a few of those and we'll talk about what they're about, and you might see something that you like. So, and Dudley, of course, is right here, so he wants to come up. He doesn't like to be too far from me. All right. So the first one is called Dangerous Game, and it's by Mandy Robotham. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it came out, or is coming out rather, in January 16th. And it starts out in London, 1952, and it's a World War II historical fiction, like so many of them. And this one, it says it's after the war. London is coming alive again with jazz clubs and flickering cinema awnings lighting up the night sky. Now, there's one woman though, her name is Helen Dexter. They call her Dexy, and she's a widow, and she says she's still a woman in a man's world. So she's trying to prove herself as an officer at the London Metropolitan Police, but she's stuck intervening in domestic cases and making tea for her male colleagues. So it says then Harry Schroeder arrives, seconded from Hamburg to the Met. Haunted by the loss of his wife and child, he's unlike any man Dexy has ever known. Compassionate and sharp-witted, he sees her not as a threat, but as an intelligent, canny officer full of potential. When Harry is asked to hunt down a Nazi war criminal turned respected businessman, it's Dexy he turns to for help. So that one sounds really good. And I think I've read some of her books before, and I remember them being quite good. So the next one comes out January 7th, which is very soon. It's called The Vanishing Bookstore, and it's by Helen Pfeiffer. And it takes place in 1692. And it says, on the outskirts of Salem, a bookstore stands covered in overgrown vines. Inside, a young woman hides a linen-wrapped journal under a loose floorboard and runs away, panicked by the sound of hounds barking in the distance. The bookstore vanishes into thin air. And then it goes to present day, and it says, stepping inside a pale pink house on one of the oldest streets in Salem, Dora can't believe she's about to finally meet the mother she thought died tragically when she was just a child. But the excitement is short-lived. Dora's mother has fear in her eyes, and with a trembling voice she whispers, my life's in danger, and now so is yours. All right, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? And I'm guessing maybe the pale pink house she's living in is the one that the disappearing bookstore, or are they connected? It must be connected somehow. Anyway, I'm excited to see. The next one is The Endeavors of Elsie McKay, and it's by Flora Johnston. And this one comes out January 23rd. It says flight fever is running high, and daring flyers are all anyone can talk about. And now the Honorable Miss Elsie McKay, glamorous former film star and regular name in the gossip columns, has a new ambition to be the first woman to fly the Atlantic. Elsie's friend Stella Campbell once felt at the heart of world events, but now post-war hopes are frayed, and marriage and motherhood have worn away her sense of self. In recent years, Stella's sister, Corin, has been wrapped up in her books and academic career, determinedly single, or so it seems. But when Corin's carefully guarded secrets start to emerge, will she choose to follow her heart? Okay, so that sounds like there's a few things going on there, maybe a few different women and their stories. So that one could be excellent. So this one, it was the cover that captured me. It looks kind of ominous. It's called The Sower of Blackfield, and it's by Catherine Koch. And this one comes out January 15th, and it says it's inspired by a true story. And I apologize if I get some of these names wrong. Father Victor Koch, CP, I'm not sure what the CP stands for. Yep, don't know. Has quietly ministered to the people of, oh boy, Schwarzenfeld. That's, my German's not so good. And anyway, it says that throughout the war, in a time of oppression, he has struggled to keep their faith alive, despite the watchful eyes of Nazi authorities. As he peacefully resists efforts to end his missionary work, Father Victor wrestles with his heritage and identity. Why does he feel rooted in Germany? Is he following a higher calling or bound by the mystical forces of his ancestry? Awakened by the tyranny of Nazi rule, his followers risk prison to express their dissent. Relying upon his ingenuity to protect them, Father Victor finds a grudging ally in a Nazi charity worker who confiscated his ministry. All right, so that sounds really interesting, and uh, the fact that it's a true story, it sounds excellent, and there's a little more to it, but I'll let you find that out when you go to read it. All right, so the next one is called Betrayal of Mercia? Mercia? Yeah. Okay, Betrayal of Mercia by M.J. Porter. And I confess, when I first looked at it, I thought it was Betrayal of America, but anyway, there's no A. So it says, and it came out yesterday, and it says Londonia, AD 835. The deadly conspiracy against the children of uh, hmm, Elderman Coewolf, we'll go with that, is to be resolved. This is the only thing about some of these, fantasy and historical fiction books and things. Some of these names. Anyway, those involved have been unmasked and arrested, but will justice prevail? While the court convenes to determine the conspirators' fate, King Wiglaf's position is precarious. His wife, Queen Senarith, has been implicated in the plot, and while Wiglaf must remain impartial, enemies of the Mercia still conspire to prevent the full truth from ever being known. As Mercia weeps from the betrayal of those close to the king, the greedy eyes of Lord Ethelwulf, King Egbert's of Wessex son, pivot once more towards Mercia. He will stop at nothing to accomplish his goal of ending Mercia's ruling bloodline. If you can get past all the names, it might be good. But that might be enough to turn me off of that one. I don't know, but some people are okay with that. So the next one is The Sapphire Heiress, and it's by Ella Leon, and it comes out January 24th. Says in Victoria, England, the Silver Order has kept its supernatural discoveries hidden for centuries. Those who seek its secrets must always pay a price. May Blackthorne, the daughter of an English shipbuilder and a Filipina immigrant, has been taught to ride side saddle, embroider pillows, and dance the waltz. So when her brother disappears at sea, she hasn't a clue what to do when the family's shipbuilding business falls into bankruptcy. It isn't long before May is penniless, or so she believes. Forced to accept a post as governess in the very home she was raised in, May takes on the challenge in good spirits, yet she's restless and yearns for the life of adventure her daredevil father and brother once had. That is, until she meets Ethan Locke, a pirate who offers her an enticing opportunity to recover her secret inheritance. So that one sounds exciting. So the next one is When the Avalanche Roared, and I'm sorry I can't see. Oh wait, I think I can see the author here. It is Laura Lee. I think it's Bliss, but it's a very faint writing, so I'm not sure. It came out January 1st, so you're all set to have that one. It says Lillian Hartwig has been in the small railroad town of Wellington, Washington, caring for her cousin and assisting the postmaster when February snows bring all train traffic to a halt. Slow-witted but kind Griffin Jones, who works odd jobs for the railway while enduring taunts from other workers, has tried his best to gain Lillian's interest, but she's engaged and waiting her fiancé's arrival from California. Pre-dawn thunderstorms on Tuesday, March 1st, 1910, trigger a devastating avalanche, sweeping 2 trains down Stevens Pass. Lillian and Griffin work together to help survivors, including Griffin's tormentors. In the midst of the catastrophe, their feelings for each other grow. But is it enough when Lillian's fiancé finally arrives in the spring, ready to claim her as his own? So that sounds incredible. I can't even imagine trains getting swept off the tracks by avalanches, and that sounds like it'll be quite a story. The next one is called The Lotus Shoes, and this one's by Jane Yang, and it comes out tomorrow, And it says, which is January 7th, and it says in 19th century China, tightly bound feet or golden lilies are the mark of an honorable woman. When Little Flower is sold as a maidservant to Lin Jing, a daughter of the prominent Fong family, she clings to the hope that her golden lilies will someday lead her out of a life of slavery. Not only does Little Flower have bound feet, uncommon for a musée, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but she is gifted at embroidery, a skill associated with women of fortune. Resentful of these talents, Lin Jing does everything in her power to keep Little Flower under her thumb, but when scandal strikes the Fongs, both women are cast out to the Celibate Sisterhood, a strict group of women who make their way in life by weaving silk. Little Flower suddenly sees a path to freedom through her skill when she catches the eye of a nobleman. But there's a huge risk. The Sisterhood punishes disobedience with death. And if Lin Jing finds out, will she use this knowledge to reclaim her power over Little Flower, or will she protect her? So that one sounds good as well. And the book that I just recently read was had to do with binding women's feet as well, and it's quite a process. All right, so the next one is called Crescent Sky, and it's by A.L. Sowards, I believe. And it comes out January 7th as well, and it takes place in the Balkans in 1383. It says a sudden conflict between Serbs and Greeks have forced Ivan to join his brother and fight with the Serbian army. On the battlefield, Ivan is wounded and captured by the hostile Greeks, becoming a hostage in a deadly bid for power. Helena, a Greek midwife, is tasked to care for Ivan, a request that will test not only her healing abilities but also her loyalty. Though war has made her a reluctant patient and enemy, she can't help but forge a connection with him. Yet falling in love with him could turn her world upside down and brand her as a traitor. As the Ottoman Empire extends its grip into the Balkans, events beyond their control force Ivan and Helena to choose between loyalty to their families and people or following the longings of their hearts. So that sounds like it'll be quite a romance. And the next one is called Judith Cutler. It's by Judith Cutler, and it's called In at the Death. And it's IN at the death, so I'm not really sure where that title's from, but I guess we'll find out. October 1861, England. Harriet and Matthew Rolsley, the housekeeper and estate manager of Thorncroft House in Shropshire, that's not an easy one to say, have to cut short their successful trip to Oxford when they receive a telegraph. A decapitated and mutilated body has been found on the estate. While trying to help the strangely slow police investigation, the couple face an unsettling threat to their livelihood. After years of searching, a legitimate heir of Thorncroft Estate has been found. They find themselves hosting an American gentleman whose charm doesn't quite conceal his alarming plans for the future of the estate and all its inhabitants. So that sounds like it would be really good if he comes in and tries to take over the estate and everything that's going on there. So some excellent reads for January. I really want to read them all, but again, I'm trying to read from my shelves, so we'll see how that goes. But if you get a chance to pick one of them up, maybe from your local library, if you're doing a no-buy month, that might might help. But they all sound excellent. So hope you found something there that you thought you'd enjoy. Let me know in the comments below if you did. All right, talk to you soon, friends. Bye-bye.